Welcome to another edition of Smash the Numbers. Today we're going to go into the depth charts for Michigan, and we're going to talk about the implications of the new recruits to the depth chart. Tons of new recruits are either in the fold or just about to be in the fold. I'm actually recording this before our Tuesday, June 25th show. So TJ is going to release some information, and I'm going to riff off that a little bit. Some of this data, just a little fair warning here, might be obsolete. There may be other recruits. We may have gotten an extra one. We may have lost someone, etc. But this is really to give you an understanding of what it means to Michigan to get these recruits in terms of 2024, 2025, 2026, and beyond. So let's smash the numbers. All right, just a reminder that Michigan has 45 championships. Okay, we're going to keep going. All right, so what we're looking at here is the current roster as formulated by our lads. So I'm using the our lads data. Is their data 100% accurate? Would I agree with everything? Maybe, maybe not. But going to use that as the source here. You see both the players and their year. And if it says graduate student, if it says red shirt, that is also reflected here. So you can see the way that they laid this out, there are 2 tight end positions, 3 wide receiver positions. If you add all this up, it's not necessarily 11. There's a little bit of a flex there. We see, for reference, the 2024 recruits. And in particular, what you want to look at here is green is good. Red is a little bit lower. So as we're kind of looking at each player, you can kind of see where the highest ranked players are for Michigan. So you've got Jordan Marshall, Jaden Davis, both very highly ranked at their position. Also Andrew Sprague for offensive tackle. Will all of these be exactly the positions that these players are in? Not necessarily. I'm sort of trying to fit them in. So just kind of keep that in mind. This would be a great page to just kind of screenshot. If you're on a phone, obviously you can zoom in a little bit. If you are on a laptop, go ahead and screenshot it, and then you can kind of have some reference. Now, as we look at the 2025 recruits, and we are looking at the offensive side right now, we can identify where there are potentially some gaps. So we did get Jacob Washington, 4-star recruit. And what we're looking at here is, 1 wide receiver and then a whole bunch of others that are maybe just on the cusp. According to On3, these are all Michigan leans. Taz Williams, maybe by the time by the time you see this, depending on what TJ says today, maybe he will be close to being in the fold, or TJ will lock him in. We'll see. Then we've got Andrew Marsh. We've got Phillip Wright. So you can obviously see they're trying to get a bunch of wide receivers here. Now, if we look through the offensive line, we've got 2, Avery Gash, Caden Strayhorn, that just came into the fold. You can see where their position rankings are. There is another opportunity with Hardy Watts. So 3 offensive linemen in the fold here, potentially. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 offensive linemen in 2024. Okay, so let's keep going. You've got tight ends. You have Eli Owens, a tight end, ranked 27th at his position. And Andrew Olish, also there ranked higher at 5. So if Olish kind of gets over this line, likely he takes this slot for me. Until I have other information, I'm just going to take the higher ranked player and slot him in. So you can kind of see there are gaps, but part of this is, are you going to go ahead and alternate years if you know you have a player that's going to stick around for multiple years? Let's just look at quarterback position for a second. You've got Alex Orji for now, Davis Warren as a backup. That's how our lads has it. And I will agree with them. I know there's some talk about Jack Tuttle, but I'll just focus on quarterback and running back for a second here. Then you've got Jaden Davis, very highly ranked recruit. So that's great. Then you have Carter Smith, another highly ranked recruit. So we've got 2 years in a row of good quarterbacks, something that have been coming in. That's something that we haven't had in a while. Okay, so then you look at the running back position. So obviously Donovan Edwards. Then you have Jordan Marshall, highly ranked. And then you've got another Donovan Johnson. So opportunity here for some continuity as well. Khalil Mullings is also a senior. So looking good in the quarterback and running back position. Looking good perhaps in the tight end position. I would still like to see some of these wide receivers kind of go up. It looks like they are focused on getting more wide receivers in, which I think is a good sign. All right, now let's go to the defensive side of the ball. Okay, same kind of thing here, and you've got the depth chart here, and we can actually look at the 2024, 2025 class, 2024, everything filled out pretty nicely. There's a couple of missing positions here and there, but there's a bunch of other players that they brought in who could fill some of those positions depending on position movement. If we look at 2025, we've got Bobby Kenka, relatively highly ranked. Nate Marshall, very highly ranked for defensive line. Jalen Williams, relatively high ranked. And then Chase Taylor, a little bit lower ranked. And then Keona Winston, relatively high ranked. Now, if we look at some of these missing positions, what's kind of, if we have a whole bunch of defensive line, we have a linebacker and a safety. So we need to probably load up on some more cornerbacks, depending on how we think the 2024 crop will be. If we look at, it would have been nice to have Maxwell Roy. I believe he has gone to Ohio State as the time of this recording. But you have Nathan Owasu. You have Kamar Archie, Jordan Young, Yvonne Taylor, and Marco Jones. 2 safeties, 2 linebackers, and an edge. Maybe, depending on position flexibility here, I'd like to see a little bit more in that cornerback position specifically. So I think Michigan is in much better shape. On the defensive side, looks good. Offensive side looks good as well. But there are these dotted lines here. I'd like to have some of these players kind of move up into the fold. That dotted line is kind of saying, I don't know for sure. Let's see what happens. All right. So what do I think of where Michigan is at? I'm going to agree with TJ. TJ was pretty pessimistic. I didn't look at all the data in detail, and I can now see why he was so pessimistic 3 or 4 weeks ago. Now we have filled out a whole bunch of positions. I believe Michigan is up to 15th ranked, so that is great as a class. Maybe we have a shot at if some of those players that I kind of showed below the fold, below the line, kind of end up becoming commits. We have a chance at being in the top 10. For Michigan, I believe that is fine. Michigan, it does not chase stars. They're looking for fit. They're looking for smart players. They're looking for players who want to do smash. They're looking for players who are willing to be unselfish. So there are a lot of elements there. Quantity-wise, I think we're good. Maybe a couple of positions that I would improve if it were, on the wish list. But you kind of have to look 2 years kind of together, maybe alternating certain positions, that sort of thing as well. I will continue to update this. Please leave a comment in terms of some of the players you'd like me to focus on or TJ to focus on. That would be great as well in this recruiting class. And also, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the Voice of College Football, Michigan Football at the Voice of College Football. We have been growing very fast, and we are catching up to the Ohio State channel. I believe we will reach them and pass them sometime during the season, but maybe optimistically we can do it even early in the season if possible. So do your part, spread the word. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing.